Schnozzcast, episode 61 for Saturday, February 29th, 2020. Everybody with me?
Yeah.
Okay,
We're
cool.
here.
Cool. Wasn't sure if that was going to work.
Always the signs of a great podcast.
Silence.
No, I'm not sure if this is going to work.
Well, we wanted to try to use the board to put the intro music in there, so I didn't have to do it in post. And we'll try it going out at the end too. So hopefully it worked, and it'll sound good. I've actually the cool part about this mixer is you can. So I know I'm mic number 1, Nick's number 2. You guys are Daisy Chain in number 3, and Donnie's 4. So each one of them you can have a strength through the vocals to say, you know, how is your voice? Is your voice normally soft or medium, or are you a loud person? So Nick's definitely loud.
No, you don't say.
Not Nick. No, not at all.
But it kind of normalizes everything to make it sound like a radio broadcast. So there's less of the peaks and valleys in the waveform. So we're gonna try that today and see how that goes.
All right.
So okay, introductions. To my right, special guest for today, Donnie Gephart.
How are you?
Pull that microphone a little bit closer to you. There you go.
That better?
Yep.
Good?
Yep.
Good?
You're right on top of that thing.
Better
And-
1 or 2.
And with Donnie's introduction, there's another introduction that I'd like to put with that, and that is for Kristen, that instantly joined the room the second we went live.
And Kristen is.
Donnie's wife.
Okay.
So
Well-
I think you were correct that she might be a little salty. So
Maybe.
sorry, Kristen. Next time.
The wife thing might be iffy after tonight. So.
Maybe I'll get home with locks will be changed. Doors will be locked. Maybe a blanket on the porch.
Yeah, why don't you go listen to your podcast in your truck for the night and think about it.
Guess who stayed at Nick's house?
And to my left, as usual, hold down the fort.
Sir, how are you?
Good, Nick. How are you?
Not so bad.
We're gonna hear a little bit more later about Nick's big adventure for today. Looking across the table, Mr. Cory.
Oh, hey.
Oh hey. And Ms. Danielle Finn.
Hello. Laughing at Nick.
And I feel like we're going to get a lot of comments today. I've already gotten several. The locks have been changed, and that she is very salty.
All right. Well, we want to make sure that Donnie is in fine form today for the podcast. So don't feed him all that information, especially if it's bad news. We don't want him to just start spiraling down the drain right from the beginning.
That's okay.
Sure.
I'll be alright. It'll be fine. She'll be alright. She'll get over it.
All right. So a bit of housekeeping. Nick, you and I were talking about this last night. You had purchased an ad on Facebook, right?
Yeah. $2 a day, 5 days.
To goose the
To goose?
Yeah.
goose, yeah. To give a little.
I got you.
To
the
goose the viewers.
Yeah, a visibility of the podcast on the Facebook social media
That's what
platform.
we here at the podcast like to do.
Yeah, so you pay $2 for 5 days of goosing, and from what I could tell, it certainly has paid off. I was remarking to you that I saw just in the notifications that I get from Cory having added us both to the Schnozzcast podcast Facebook page that with a lot of new viewers from France, Spain, Ireland, Netherlands, and the trick is to look at their friend list and notice that there are no mutual friends. Like it's not somebody that added who you guys work with or you know
Right.
from somebody else.
They are legit listeners and viewers.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, yeah, $2 a day, $10 wasn't bad.
Money well spent, I think.
Yeah. We might have to do it again. I spend, 5 times that when I go to Ray's, so.
True.
So why
True.
not?
And then to piggyback off of, piggytail, Cory, off of the last episode where Nick Seletsky and Krabby were the guests, we closed out the podcast by talking about Bill Brasky and the sketches from Saturday Night Live. And just wanted to give a quick correction there to say that I don't think that you'll find a whole lot of them available on YouTube. So if you are interested, we would definitely recommend, just for a laugh, go check it out. But I think the way you want to do it is there's a free app you can get on your phone called the SNL app. And it gives you It really should have been my pick of the week at some point, but into SNL.
Moving right along.
S&M?
Saturday Night Live.
Excuse me?
Just took a turn.
Well, it started with the goosing, so.
Sadomasochism Night Live. It gives you access to, you can sort by season, you can search by guest, host, you can sort by cast member, and it'll give you access to, I don't think all the sketches, but damn near all the sketches you want to find. So you can literally just do a quick search on Brasky and find what you're looking for. So if you're interested, check it out. It should be free to download.
Sounds good.
So, Donnie,
Yeah.
I thought your eyes were closed. Just meditating. Why don't you introduce yourself and your connection to the podcast and the folks in the room here?
Donnie, and my closest connection would be Cory. It started off with a tin of chew, pretty much, and it was a match made in heaven, and a love story ever since.
You gotta give more. When you say it started off with a tin of chew and it's a love story, you gotta give more
Oh,
details.
some of it's private. The secret hasn't been out yet,
Dude, no one's listening to this podcast. No one cares.
One pull of chew shared between the two.
but yeah.
Did you
Sure.
take it
I took
between
it
your
out of
cheek
his
and your
mouth,
gum and you?
yeah.
Oh, okay, from his mouth to yours.
Yeah, we
Okay.
passed it back and forth.
That's disgusting.
Quite some time.
That's disgusting.
It was when we were working.
And that's how the coronavirus got started.
Right.
Oh, I forgot my mask. Darn it. Yeah, that's how that got started. And then just came pretty close with everybody. Worked with Nick also, and then met Danielle and Bob through Cory.
Is Bob also your uncle cousin?
I mean, I don't know. We exchanged enough spit, me and Cory did, so
Oh,
it could be.
God.
I mean, it could be.
Retroactively DNA matched to the Selesky family tree.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wait, hold your hand out like this.
I don't shake.
Okay.
Ever.
Not
Don't
not
shake it.
not too much got to you then.
No.
Hey, no.
Yeah, you know.
Was that from The Departed? My hand does not
Steady
shake.
as a rock.
Yeah, steady as a rock.
No.
Heart rate's jacked. Hands steady as a rock.
Nice. I never know whether there's a new quote you're going to get, Cory. I'm always happy when you do.
There you go.
Well, we're happy to have you, man.
Thank you.
So we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. I feel like this is probably the most prepared I've been in a long time for the podcast. So I got a whole bunch of stuff from pick of the week to gentleman's agreement to booze news to literally just another big topic to throw out there in case anybody wanted to hear it. But I'm interested in Cory. Have you seen any feedback on the podcast from last week's episode, as far as hits, views? I know you were working on episode 59.
Right, and well, just as of last night, we had already 59. It was I believe 59 views from just a couple hours.
Okay.
So it we're getting good response and good interaction.
And that's with YouTube, or that was on Podbean?
That was just on Facebook Live.
Facebook Live. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But Podbean though we're well over I believe 1,200 listeners now.
Okay. Awesome. I want to maybe for next week's episode we'll do a thing we do like every month where we just start sending graphs to each other.
Oh yeah, I thought you meant like shower or something.
No, it's every other month too.
Okay.
So yeah, that's good news. I feel like we were kind of on the upswing.
Oh,
But-
definitely.
But it's hard to tell because of the limited analytics that we get from a lot of these sites. So, you want to tell us about your adventure today? Tell the listeners.
It's not really that exciting. I had to put up a light fixture over the top of the basement stairs. So it seems very simple. I can put a couple wires together, no big deal. But the ladder didn't fit, and I'm pretty much 20-some feet in the air at the top of the ladder, over the stairway. And by yourself, you have to, hold this thing that's 15 pounds up and somehow still wire it all together and put the screws in. And I almost killed myself a couple times, but it looks good.
It does look good. 3 hours, you said?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, see,
Talk about the Cory shakes, man. I hate heights. I swear to God. every now, like, I was just here and I just go, ah! And I'd be like, oh, fuck! And I'm like sweating and my hands are like going like this.
If I tumble down these stairs,
Yeah,
no one will
find
hear me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll come for the podcast.
Hey,
Why
Nick.
would you open your fucking door, Nick?
Why are you laying like that?
Assholes.
Why's your leg over your head?
How can we get down the stairs to the podcast with you laying with it? Get up and get out of the way.
I still think we should do it. This is what he would want.
Yeah, we'll get you an ambulance in a few, Nick.
Yeah, we weekended Bernie Nick and right in the chair, put some sunglasses on.
Yep.
Nick made it, everyone.
Blue members only jacket.
Slowly slides down, flops out of the chair.
Oh, buddy, well, wake up. It's all right.
Come on, come on.
I know you're tired.
Time for a shot.
You didn't die today. We have a podcast to do.
God, it looks to me like Nick needs to go to the bathroom. Maybe we should help him.
Oh, he already went.
Oh.
Let's make more room in this deep freezer.
Sitting at Ray's. You know, Nick was kind of quiet tonight. He didn't really say a whole lot.
For the first time, Nick didn't talk through the entire
moving
episode.
right along.
Yeah, well, as mundane of a task it is to hang a light, it's all in this telling you the story, and that's why I wanted you to tell it.
Oh my god, yeah. So glad it's done. Glad I'm alive.
We are too, Nick. We
Thanks.
are too.
Thanks, man.
You know.
And Cory and Danielle, you guys got your fill of corned beef and cabbage tonight, right?
Oh, yes.
Early St. Patty's Day party?
Yes.
Tupperware bins in the car to share.
No, sorry. We didn't get any to-go stuff.
That must mean that Cory ate his weight in cabbage.
Oh, God.
Oh, that'll be wonderful for us
Oh,
tonight.
God.
He didn't have any cabbage.
I will tell you
Okay.
this, though. I almost did make her sit next to you because someone had horseradish spread and horseradish mustard on her sandwich. And we hadn't even finished eating yet, and I keep on hearing, oh, oh. Oh my God, great. Tonight's going to be fantastic.
She had that was a mistake look on her face?
No, it was good.
Oh, yeah, there was no mistake. It wasn't a mistake.
There was no mistakes. No,
Better
as
out than in, I always say.
I'm spreading like the horseradish like cream on it or whatever, I go to grab the mustard and he goes, "Do you really need to do that?" And I was like, "Yes, yes, I do."
So I know we don't do shop talk, but what I'll do is I'll just kind of censor it a little bit. But I think you should know about this, and I did not tell you.
Oh boy.
So in law enforcement, everyone has badge numbers, call signs, stuff like that. So Cory's is 92, okay, and a personal means that you have to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
And Cory, with coming to work 40 minutes early and taking 41 minutes to get ready, very slowly as he does. So finally he's in service, and there's no talk on the radio or anything like that. And I think he was in service for 9 minutes, and we heard our dispatcher say, 25, can you make such and such location and relieve 192 for a personal?
It was emergent.
I said, he comes to work 40 minutes early. It takes him 41 minutes to get ready. He's in service for 9 minutes, and he goes on a 20-minute personal. We are lucky to have him. I just love that he put it over the air for everyone.
What's the code for? Is there a code for turtling?
No.
I didn't put it over the air. That was John after I called him on my cell phone.
I know, he called him on his phone. Hey, can you send me relief? And of course he put it over the air.
What a dick.
I was
Yeah.
like, what the
Yeah.
what the fuck, dude? How long you been in service for 9 minutes and now you gotta go poop?
It was either that or shit my pants and go home.
Well, that's why you don't have McGriddles when you first start your workday.
What?
He gets pancakes and sausage while we're trying to have roll call. The whole place
So
smells
during
like
the 9 minutes.
a Canadian maple
Is that part of the
factory.
9 minutes?
What's that?
Where is eating the pancakes and
No.
sausage?
No.
Part of the 41?
Yeah, so
Okay.
so once we start, we have like a 15-minute roll call, and he spends that time beep, 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 beep.
Just so I'm clear, though, is 41 minutes to get ready, and then another 15 for the roll call, and then he was on shift for 9 minutes.
Yeah, he was on shift for 9 minutes.
Okay, but while the roll call...
It was longer than 9 minutes.
No, it
just
was
so
not. No, it was not.
Yeah,
'Cause I
it
looked
was
at the
much
ti-
longer.
I looked at the time. I didn't even think he should have been in service yet. It was that quick, and I'm like, really? I'm like, so that's why he, first thing in the morning, gets up, comes straight to work,
I'm
That's all
picturing every police movie and show I've seen from NYPD Blue to Police Academy, where you're literally standing is it you, I assume, standing at the podium?
No, there's no podium.
Okay.
But there's just a room, me standing up.
Standing up at the front of the room.
Yeah.
And they're all sitting at tables and
Yep,
chairs.
right.
Okay. Exactly as I imagined.
Yeah. So
So for 15 minutes while you're talking, and I assume he's eating pancakes and sauce.
and he's digesting those
Right, I
said
was
pancakes.
just working, working on a massive poop.
Right. So so knowing Cory, he doesn't drink coffee. So all of us
There's
that
no diuretic to get it to go through
Right.
the system
Which
quickly.
is amazing. He's got like a fast turnaround.
But doesn't Chew do the same thing?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
So all of
Yeah, I'm
us.
past that though. The chew doesn't bother me anymore.
No, not bother you, but you can't stop the
It gets
fact
in
that
the
it's a
tab.
diuretic.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
But
Does the same thing that coffee does.
But so he probably doesn't. He obviously doesn't drink coffee when he first wakes up. Is
But
it
it was a good
loop
experiment.
or an infinity?
It's an inverted Mobius strip.
No, I'm talking about what you were talking about.
The mix minus?
Not your belly button.
Sorry, what?
It's inverted.
It's an inverted Mobius strip. So it's good to know we can do that. But again, we'd have to do some sort of crazy research to figure out a way to pipe that out where we could hear it without it going back and feedbacking into the mixer.
Right.
I love crazy research.
Crazy research.
So we're at 23 minutes and we haven't done a Schnozzcast shot.
Holy cow.
All right. So the funny thing about this was it was my turn to pick up the Fireball, and I went to the store and there's this I don't even know what ethnicity she is, but she's very exotic the way she talks.
Very exotic the way she talks.
What store did you go to?
It was
An exotic one.
It was a liquor store, and I'm like, oh hey, how you doing? Hello, how are you? I'm like, oh I'm good. Yeah, can I get some cold Fireball? You know, cold Fireball, okay. So she like goes in the back, and she like peeks her head out, and she's like, I'm like, what? And she's like, and I like had to get closer to her. I'm like, what? And she's like,
Sounds very racially
we only
insensitive.
have
Right.
She's like, we only have the liters, and she shows me this liter.
Is she
and I'm
from
like,
Slovakia?
I'm not falling for that game. So I said, oh, so you don't have 2 cold pints? Well, we have that. I'm like, okay. Nice try on trying to get me to buy the liter, though, lady. I will have those.
I still think you should go on with the leader, but.
You know how many times that probably works on people, though? Oh, yeah, just
Oh,
give
I'm
me
sure.
that.
I'm sure it does every time.
Exactly. They probably have fits back there. So, oh, sorry, all we have is...
Oh, that's the leaders.
Well, guess what? It's usually more expensive to buy 2 pints, and it's definitely more expensive to buy a liter. So, oh, yep, out of fifths.
It's amazing. This store is always out of fifths.
Damn you, Nostrovia.
Laughing every time everyone wants our
Right.
stupid fell for that one again.
We made more money.
Without an accent at the time.
Right. Our English was superb.
Right. It's,
Thanks, Karen.
you speak better English than I do.
Or you're gonna want to be careful with that. It's pretty full.
Yeah, I see that. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, if you're new to the podcast, generally we are an explicit podcast involving some alcohol here and there. So we're about to do a shot. We're toasting to you, hopefully our new listeners from Spain, the Netherlands, France, Ireland, etc., etc. So welcome. So if you have something to drink, go ahead and pause us now. And we're back.
All right.
Cheers.
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 Oh, shit, sorry.
Damn Latino people.
Tight quarters.
I literally thought Cory was throwing up on my table.
Yes, that's
I was like,
Why?
what is he doing?
'Cause that's where I would do it.
And I just see his head go beyond his computer, and I'm like, what is he doing? Apparently he filled it up too much, so he's lapping it up like a dog.
that's right.
I did give him a heads up though.
So these bottles freeze, just FYI.
Oh, no.
So is it like a slushy sort of a?
Like a chunky milk.
Oh,
It's not. I wouldn't say chunky milk. It's just not going
That's
down
actually
smoothly.
exactly what I was thinking. As it sludgily makes its way down into your
Mhm.
Very,
esophagus.
very gelatinous.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's still good.
mm-mm.
It's just a slow shot.
That's
That,
Cory's a slow shot.
that's
hit the button.
Never gets old. All right, sir. Which way do we want to take this?
Look at this. Holly Martinez entered the room. She just missed her hubby.
Oh,
Her beau.
Holly Martinez. Yeah, you missed Tony's dial-in, but also Tony was supposed to give me his email address at the end of the last podcast, but he did not, which is why you don't have an MP3 version of Cory's. So if you want to remedy that situation, tell your husband to give me his email address.
So why was Tony in the toilet for so long? Okay, I guess she's with him.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Oh, I don't know.
Must have been some. Must have had the bad shrimp.
Bad shellfish.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. Do we have enough people here who've done the gentleman's agreement to go? I'm ready if you guys are.
I didn't have a copy of mine, so.
I thought I had. I dropped off 2 with him. I thought I had sent him one, but I didn't. So I figured he'd tell you, like, hey, you're gonna have to spend the money to run it. But it sounds like he didn't.
She asked, I think it was this morning, she asked, she's like, oh, Bob didn't give me the copy of Son of a Woman.
I did.
I'm like, well, that's because he doesn't have one.
Okay.
Did you guys have time to watch anything today? I mean, that in the sense that did you go to Costco?
No. Well, I went to Costco and got gas, but he wasn't with me.
How many movies and episodes did you watch at Costco?
None.
Oh, okay.
I love that look too. None, you fucking asshole.
I know.
You could just say it. It's totally fine.
It's okay. I was cursing him out because he locked the front door, so.
Yeah, she
That's
was.
true.
And Donnie walked out.
Any excuse?
Bob's like, hey, back door. Danielle's like, no, I'm gonna
Are you-
stand here and piss off Nick.
I rang the doorbell. I was like,
Make it
no.
open the
I'm making him come out here. to open
Ring the
door for me.
doorbell.
Bob saved me though. I started to go to the door like a gentleman, and Bob's like, no, don't do that.
Yep.
Come on back.
Shoot back here already.
Well, I'd already heard that Kristen was salty. Well, we don't need any more salty people on this podcast. So.
But it's not a good show though if Danielle doesn't get even a little mad at me.
I was like, when am I not salty towards
And she's
Nick, though?
perpetually mad at you, though.
Yeah, but she also has a good time sometimes.
Although listening to the last episode again, you were definitely saltier toward Krabby.
Was I?
Yeah.
About what?
Do you want me to say it?
I don't
James Pappas, how can you get a
remember.
Because he actually had to stop himself from calling you guys Mr. and Mrs. Finn.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. I was like, about what?
He did it a number of times. He wasn't the first one. I think it was me, but then Nick piled on, Krabby piled on, and then Krabby did it a few times to the point where he's like, I think Cory's getting upset. And Danielle goes, no, it's actually me. that's getting upset." And he goes, well, I'll stop it then, Cory, you lucky fuck. I won't have to do it anymore.
Sometimes things work out in my favor.
Yeah. So you didn't get it yet.
No, not
Okay.
yet.
Did you watch yours?
I did.
Wow.
Wow.
And I know you didn't yet, right?
No.
Because you were
I
hanging lights today.
almost dying.
All right, so you and I can trade back and forth. Let's do it.
If you'd like to.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
You want to go first?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to pull up my notes here.
Okay. So my gentleman's agreement assignment was 3 episodes of Turn from Nick Bader. So I watched the first 3, and my impressions are: should this be a spoiler-free review?
Yeah, it's been out for a while. I mean, I guess, spoiler alert.
I feel like you've talked about it more than once. Danielle's now talked about it, and I'm like the third person.
Yeah, if you're intending on watching Turn, spoiler alert, and fast forward a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm going to agree with Danielle in that the first episode was a little on the slow side. But they were trying to establish the setting and the characters and all that stuff, so I generally give a lot of leeway to a show. But that's where you stopped, right? Like, you watched the first one, you're like, okay, I'm done.
If that.
Okay.
No, I did watch the first one.
Once the automated gas pump holder clicked at Costco, that was the end.
Yep, time to go. Turn off
Why
that
would I be
iPhone.
watching it at Costco?
You said didn't you guys watch something at Costco?
No.
No.
I think they did.
She watched it on the way.
Oh, on the way to Costco. Okay.
No.
On the way to Nick's house?
He was making dinner and I watched it.
Oh, okay. So it was just right before you left.
Yeah.
Okay. In other words, you were late getting here because he had to tell you to stop watching it so we can get in the car.
No, we weren't late either last week.
Oh,
We were on
okay.
time.
Okay.
We were waiting on Krabby
I
last
see
week.
Cory and I just think late. So.
No, Cory's actually. I congratulated him today because it's the first time that I can personally recall in over a year he beat me here. He was here. He was in the basement setting up when I got here.
I sure was.
Wow.
Yeah. And if we started late, I don't think it can legitimately be blamed on Cory.
That is correct.
Which is also a first. I think.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Because he had to come from a further distance today, too, because we were at my aunt and uncle's house.
Okay.
Well, he told me what time it was too. It's like 9, so I was like, I got a few minutes. And I texted him,
I
hey,
got
Ron,
a-
what time did
Remember-
you get there? And
please-
he's like, oh, I'm here now. I was like, oh, crap.
Please remember who invited you.
So that was turn, huh?
So I'm gonna say you should have kept going because the second episode, way better, way better.
I'll try and go back.
Totally worth it to watch the second one, especially if you've sat through the first one. It definitely picks up quite a bit. Third episode, a little bit slower, but I think they just something about the plot in the second episode. They really did a good job with the show. What's his name? Lieutenant Simcoe?
Oh yeah.
Whoever that actor is that plays Lieutenant Simcoe, he's one of the British. He's on the British side.
He's a British Ranger. Actually, the Ranger unit. They wear green.
Yeah, and he gets himself captured at some point, and they start to, basically hang him from the ceiling of some sort of a dank basement somewhere, and are trying to get him to. Well, they're really not trying to get any information from him because he's pissed them off enough where they're really just beating him for sport. So it set kind of a different tone than the first episode, which I liked because I didn't see it coming. But the thing that really got me too was it the Ranger, the Queen of the Queen's Rangers.
Oh, yeah.
Robert
Rogers.
Yes, I watched that whole first episode, and he's in like the first scene of the first episode. Remember when the American soldier's walking amongst he's laying there in the mud, and he's watching, a British soldier, one of the Queen's Rangers, is basically going to all the dead and stabbing them with his bayonet, making sure they're dead.
Right.
And he's like, oh, okay, they're gonna get to me. So he quickly rolls over, kills the British or the American soldier who's nearly dead next to him, and then British soldier takes his uniform, puts it on, and then stands up and tries to impersonate the guy who was stabbing them. And it was Robert Rogers who sort of goes, wait a second, and ends up chasing through there. And this is essentially, as part of the Queen's Rangers, his job is to side on the side of England and to root out all turncoats. But it wasn't until the second episode it was driving me nuts. I'm like, where have I seen this guy before? And then finally, the second episode was where he kind of had his that was very focused on him, at least for the middle part of it. I'm like, fuck, that's the guy who played Robert the Bruce in Braveheart. Only he's a lot older and a little bit fatter now, but you could definitely tell him. And I was like, oh my God, now I can sleep tonight. It was really bothering me. Because he does such a good job, and you're like, I know who this guy is. I've seen him before somewhere. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't like to just rely back on IMDb or go like, let me look it up. Like at some point, I'm like, it'll come to me. Let's make sure I've got enough marbles rattling around upstairs to be able to pull the name out. And sure enough, by the second episode, I'm like, that's it. So he did a really good job.
They have a lot of good actors on that show.
Yeah. It was really. My only problem now is I think I just made it through the end of season 5 of Veep, so I have like 2 seasons to go, and I hate like stopping a show to watch. Like I'll do it for the Gentleman's Agreement, but
Right.
like I've done the Gentleman's Agreement now. I got to go back and finish that before I start another one. So if I'm going to finish watching Turn, it's probably going to be a little while.
So, and the coolest thing about it is that they're all the names are all real characters.
Yes, yeah, and I started looking up.
You mean people?
Yeah.
Abraham
Woodhull.
Mm-hmm. and his wife, and they've changed some things historically for the
Because-
show.
right,
They've taken
sure.
some creative license, which every show does.
Yeah.
But that was the cool part, was that these characters, these people, were based on people that did exist, and had some small part to play in what happened, even if it's different than what they showed in the show. So Overall thumbs up.
Yeah, I like it. Glad
Hey,
you
buddy.
like it.
You ready?
Yeah. Oh well, real quick too.
Yeah.
Krabby was incessantly trying to call in on the Podbean app.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, so I told him he might have to call my cell phone here in a second, but I'd let him know when to give a call.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Tell him to get the
Or
voice
I
function.
can call him.
Yeah, just tell me if it's coming and I'll shoot the volume up
All right.
on Bluetooth.
But for my gentleman's agreement, I was tasked with watching Reservoir Dogs, which I have not seen, which everyone was kind of surprised. Donnie, is that something that you've seen?
I've never seen it.
Are you a Tarantino fan at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never seen that one.
That was his first flick.
So, starting off with the scene in the diner,
Yeah.
the thing that kind of got me chuckling.
Let's say spoilers here too.
There's gonna be a couple spoilers.
Yeah. So if you're interested in Reservoir Dogs, you might want to shoot forward like 10 minutes or so.
And I'll try not to kill it too much for you, Donnie.
That's
but
all right.
but Steve Buscemi's rant about tipping and not believing in it,
Yeah.
and she only filled my coffee 3 times.
Right.
If I'm gonna tip her, she needs to fill it 6.
Yeah.
So and then ends up tipping in the end anyways. Which I'm like, given his character, it was at least I got a good chuckle out of that one.
Yeah. It was a good way to kind of establish all the characters and the way that Harvey Keitel jumped in to defend, the waitresses. Like this is the best way that a woman in her mid-20s can make a living.
Well, and that's it. He's like, if you're not making enough money, you should get a new job.
And it's
Well,
a
that's
legitimate,
one way to put it.
That's the great part about a scene like that, where you can see both points, but ultimately, Joe, the boss, the big boss, who looked like the Thing,
Yes.
jumped in and is like, "Hey, which one of you guys isn't tipping?" That craggy voice.
So, and then another part in the diner scene, the whole beginning scene, was how everyone was dressed. Because that took me to another Tarantino movie immediately
Yeah.
of Pulp Fiction.
Right.
So we'll get to that tie in a second. But then once they left the diner scene, the narrator had his first comments for the entire movie. And I recognized the voice immediately and realized it was Stephen Wright.
Right. Yeah. You can't.
So right then and there, I'm like, okay, I'm sold on the movie, because for those of you who don't know, Stephen Wright's a very famous comedian. He's not still around, is he?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
But very dry, dense humor.
Yeah. There wasn't anybody like him.
No, and I still don't think there really is.
Mitch Hedberg came pretty close, but I remember when this movie came out. I knew who Stephen Wright was, because he's only released a couple of albums. His first album was I Have a Pony.
Yes.
And I had that since I was in high school. But he really, I think, only released one more album after that, which was like 15 years later.
He only has 2 albums?
Yeah, and I think it's called I Still Have a Pony. That's other album.
So that gives you a good idea of where his humor and his head is.
Yeah, well, Boston comic from way back in the day, but his style, basically, he just rocketed past everybody else who's on the scene. Sorry, I hate to interrupt you here, but me and Phil Anton used to, after college, we used to exchange mixtapes. We would,
Phil Anton.
thanks, dude. Phil Anton and I
English major.
used
Double
to
English
exchange mixtapes after college, and we would put little asides in between the songs, and he was always a go-to for both of us. Was his asides as the announcer for Reservoir Dogs. So.
Yeah, I think they definitely did a good job picking him for that role as the narrator in the movie. So going on from there, another scene that got me was when Harvey Keitel, or Mr. White, he was trying to light his Zippo, and I don't know if this was basically a scene that was kind of impromptu that Tarantino ended up keeping, but he opens his Zippo and he tries to do like the real cool, like, I'm gonna flick it.
Yeah,
and
the
he
snap light.
Yeah,
Right.
or I'm gonna snap my fingers and get it to light. And he did it like 3 or 4 times and couldn't get it. So then he finally just lights it regularly and lights a cigarette. So like I said, and that's something I actually wanted to look into too. If that was like I said, an impromptu scene that just wasn't taken out, or it was kind of overlooked.
Okay.
Things got a little dark when they ended up kidnapping that officer and brought him into the warehouse.
Yeah.
And they ended up leaving Vic Vega alone with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know what was coming with the whole torture part. But huge spoiler alert here. He ends up taking out a straight razor and cutting off the officer's ear while he's tied down to a chair. Yeah, it was kind of, oh, that's something.
But the best part is the way that they did it, where they cut away. They don't show him cutting.
Right. Yeah, you don't actually see
Which
him.
is genius.
And you really don't know what he's doing to him until they come to the next scene, and it kind of cuts away from the back of the officer, and you see Vic Vega holding an ear up.
And talking into it, going, hello.
Yeah, he did. He takes it. He's like, oh, hello, what's going on? So and then the shocking ending of that scene to me was him with the gasoline and everything. I'm like, okay, I see where this is going.
Yeah.
And then with having Mr. Orange laying on the ramp there, which wasn't really addressed too much after he kind of passed out, just kind of comes to and ends up offing Vic Vega.
Yeah.
And kind of being the hero of that scene, and which I thought was very unlike Tarantino, for when Mr. Orange reveals to the officer that's sitting in the chair that he was the rat and the undercover officer that they were all looking for. Which it was very early on in the movie, which I would have thought would have been something later on would have, you wouldn't really have been told that right away.
Right.
But so that to me that wasn't very Tarantino-like, but I guess that's one of the good qualities of the movie. It's kind of threw you off a little bit.
Yeah, he likes to upend your expectations. I remember sitting in the Fillmore, which used to be the State Theater downtown, when they used to do Brew and View, and you go and drink, and they would show movies. And I remember sitting in the crowd watching it, in that scene, everybody just gasped because the whole movie had just now been turned on its head.
Right.
And then they immediately go into flashback of how, the story of Mr. Orange.
Well, and speaking of the flashback of Mr. Orange, the one part I was actually saying on the couch laughing out loud to myself was right before he leaves the apartment.
Yeah.
And he turns and he looks in the mirror. He says, they'll believe every word because you are super fucking cool.
Yeah.
That's what you say to yourself to amp yourself up.
That's his dialogue.
Yeah, you are super fucking cool.
I want to say Tarantino named his production company Super Cool something.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
After that. But a fun fact of when they were driving in the car as well and talking about Pam Grier and what was the name of the show? Get Christy Love.
Yeah.
Last night when we were at Ray's, did you see what was trying to play?
Friday Foster. Yeah.
Yes. So I just thought that was kind of ironic that was up there, and then I watched this today, and there was a whole connection between all of them.
Yep. The connections are always abound if you're willing to look.
Keep your eyes open.
Mm-hmm. What did you think about the commode story? You gotta be naturalistic. You gotta be naturalistic as hell.
I mean, it was
the story's
good.
about a particular commode.
Yeah, and I know that's a big scene for some of the people in it, but I don't know. To me, it didn't really. There was a lot of other stuff that stuck out to me that, I mean, I don't know. I could go without it.
I will tell you that one of the lines from the movie that I end up using like almost on a monthly basis. The part where all the cops with the dog are sitting in the bathroom, and he's sitting at the urinal, and the cop is telling the story within a story about trying to get this guy to surrender. He just keeps telling him, and the guy's like, no. And he's like, finally, he's like, buddy, I will shoot you in the face.
Yeah, that was very.
Just the way he says that line.
I think it was very
classic,
very atypical and very stereotypical of some officer standing around telling stories. So
right.
I think he hit the nail on the head with that one.
Yeah.
So the ending of it with, I didn't see that Mr. White was going to end up offing Mr. Orange like that.
Yeah.
It was Yes.
I'm looking at Danielle.
No.
Keep going.
So, yeah, no. So for Mr. White to have had so much backing for Mr. Orange and all that at the end, I didn't think he was going to pull the trigger, but
At the very, very end?
yes.
I think it's one of those things that they literally just kind of left to your imagination.
Just kind of left it open.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Because you're either going to side with Mr. Orange or you're going to side with Mr.
oh
White.
yeah, definitely.
Good versus evil, side of the law,
Right.
side of the criminals, and they just kind of have him literally like ripped out of frame by gunfire you don't see, and you don't know whether or not he pulled the trigger and killed him or not.
I like to think that he did.
And I think that's the way he'd rather have it. He'd like you to think whatever you want to think about it.
Very Tarantino-esque.
Yeah.
And my final thought on the movie here, the biggest thing to me, what I came across when I was looking something up about the movie, was the theory of the connection between Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction, and how there's film critics out there that believe they're completely interconnected, and that Tarantino made it to where all the events in Reservoir Dogs and the events of Pulp Fiction all happened in one day.
Well, certainly Michael Madsen's character in Reservoir Dogs, Vic Vega, Tarantino never says, but we're to assume that he's related to
Vincent Vega.
Vincent Vega, right? John Travolta's character in Pulp Fiction. There's long been, ever since Pulp Fiction came out, and people made that connection, as well as there's other connections in there too that I'm sure you read about.
Well, and I think because one of the deepest ones was while the heist was going on, that was the reason why Vincent Vega and I can't remember Samuel L. Jackson's name.
Jules,
Yeah. Why they were able to drive through the city with a dead guy in the back of their car was because with blood everywhere. Because
cops
that
were
all the cops were at the diamond heist
Yeah.
of Reservoir Dogs.
Were they in Toluca Lake? Do you remember where did they say where the heist? It's been a while since I've seen Reservoir Dogs. I can't remember where the heist took place.
They never gave an actual city. It was all just the only thing they referred to was California.
Okay. Also, when they're in Mean Joe's office, and they're talking about, I think it's when Michael Madsen's there. They're talking about his parole officer, whose last name is Scagnetti, and the name Scagnetti as a parole officer also comes up in Natural Born Killers. And
Okay.
I think it's played by Tom Sizemore. So there's all these different details where they call it the Tarantino verse, and that all the characters are somehow tangentially related, that they all can exist within the same world, whether it's the same day, same week, same month, same year.
When, and the final thought,
Mm-hmm.
as far as the briefcase in Pulp Fiction, all the speculations I've read on it in the past or have heard about, I was kind of like, that doesn't really, it was Marcellus' soul and all that.
Right.
This one that I read today, finally, I was like, that actually makes sense. Was that what was contained in the briefcase in Pulp Fiction were the diamonds from the diamond heist.
Yeah.
So that was definitely for me. I'm like, okay, I can see that connection.
Right.
So.
Right. So sounds like you liked it.
No, it was a very, very good movie. Definitely, like I said, right off the bat when Stephen Wright came on, I was like, all right, I'm sold.
All right. So you've now seen his first three films: Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown.
Yes.
Okay. So from here, it gets a little bit tougher because now you start going into
Yeah.
subtitles.
Oh, I don't know if we can do that.
I think we can.
Danielle,
Maybe
just
not today, but.
Danielle just have to read them for me.
All right. Well, so we're gonna move on past Jump Screaming now because I know you haven't watched yours yet. Nick
No.
hasn't watched his yet.
Correct.
Krabby and Nick have not watched yours yet, so we'll table everything for another week, and reward those loyal listeners for coming back to see how everything turned out and what you thought. So, what you thinking?
Nothing. Just I've never seen the movie, so.
I feel like now you know what it's all about, though.
I was gonna say
A little bit.
just a little.
Just a little.
All right. It's still worth watching. It's because there's a whole lot in there. I mean, the middle part of, like Bob said with the commode story and all that. There's a whole lot of other stuff to touch on in the movie. So I think even after hearing those little points, you'd still definitely enjoy it.
Okay. Well, I got 50 minutes or so since we started. We could do a quick Danielle's word box before we take a break.
Oh, sounds like a plan.
Just make sure it's a quick one. Very quick.
I'm making it go on.
Fast as possible.
Real slow.
All right, so real brief for Donnie. Do you know what we're doing here?
No.
All right, so for Donnie and for the
No.
listeners, what we did was
Donnie is clearly a fan of the podcast.
I'm always at work.
at some point in the past we had we were serving some Smirnoff vodka, and Danielle put a little SCH on the front of that word,
A
a little
little.
crazy sound.
Little wind.
And ever since then, we've created a Danielle's word box where we've got some SCH type words and also some tongue twisters. And she's a good sport about creating a little comedy out of thin air. So she has pulled a word, not a tongue twister, a word.
You said be quick.
Hold on. You could read the tongue twisters quick.
I can.
Okay, she's pulled a word out of the word box, and she's going to give it to us now.
Mashugana.
What? That was quick. Wow. I think that
I was like, I know this.
there was no question that by any means.
Wow. With the quickness, Danielle Finn on the word box.
And that was Danielle's word box.
All right, that's quick.
I knew it
She
as
almost
soon
has
as
a look
I
in her eyes
saw
like
it.
she would be willing to get that
Oh,
tattoo.
sorry.
Hey guys, Miss Sugar.
But I was really hoping, I was like, I hope this is the word I think it is, and I'm not going to, like, totally butcher it.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Cory. This is Miss Sugar.
Nice to meet you. It's my go by now.
Well, Cory's been in the habit of looking up these words after Daniel reads them, so I assume that's what you're doing now.
Well, I was putting in the notes for my own intensive purposes, but
Okay.
yeah, let me go ahead and real quick here.
There was some wind in the middle.
Miss
She did.
Sugar.
She did a great job.
Miss Sugar.
Can you spell it for the listeners? You want to look it up themselves?
Meshugana.
All right.
Mashugana.
I think you should
Well
have left
done.
it at one.
Well
one
done.
time.
So, oh, here we go, another Yiddish slang
Hey.
for a person who acts in a crazy or nonsensical way. Can also be used as an adjective to describe such a person, or as a noun meaning nonsense.
Okay.
So, sometimes this podcast is mashugana.
I think that's a fair statement.
No, you're sitting next to Miss Sugar.
Oh,
You say
Miss
Miss
Sugar.
Sugar?
Excuse me, Miss Sugar.
I need to go to the bathroom.
Is your husband here, Mr. Sugar?
Mr. Sugar.
So would you guys be Mr. and Mrs. Sugar?
Danielle Finn Sugar. Oh God. Finn dash Sugar. All right, thank you for being a good sport. You rocketed through that. Well done.
You said go fast.
No, you did. No, well, that didn't equate to you being able to pronounce it correctly, but you did.
Thank you.
And done. One and done. Let's take a break then.
Sounds like a plan.
Come back in, 10 minutes or so?
Yeah, get that crap and get you going together.
I think it probably is.
I was gonna say.
You're listening to the
He did it for
Schnozzcast.
so many years. I can't imagine it's not.
I would have to assume it's
He
trademarked.
can't trademark a word.
Plenty of people have.
Oh yeah,
No.
absolutely.
Dude, what word did you might know this? Did Paris Hilton trademark?
Oh.
Was it like duh or something really?
It was something very
Retarded.
simple.
So,
I have
This
no
is
idea.
us.
I know what you're
This
doing.
is not a good
I
start.
know what you're talking about. She did do that.
This is not
Why
good.
did we think that the second half was going to be a better start than the first half?
For Arthur Penhauer.
What?
What's his name?
What? Wait, what did you just say?
You heard me.
Arthur
Penhauer?
Howler.
I can do the voice. I can't do the name.
You were way closer than
Clearly.
you've ever been before. It's Arthur Penhauer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I had no clue I was even that close.
I can't remember who you used to say before. But
Penn
it was
and Teller.
Like, Penn and Teller.
That's Penn and Teller.
I thought it was Gordon Lightfoot or something like that.
Hey, you hold your tongue when talking about golden
God damn, son.
retrievers.
Favorite son of Canada.
Gordon
Okay.
Mike.
God damn
You
it.
got it?
She trademarked That's Hot.
That's what
yep.
it was.
There you go.
That's Hot. Paris.
Can you, Corey, Google whether or not Arthur Penhauer
Ah!
Arthur Penn and Teller.
Arthur Penhauer has trademarked baby.
Yeah, because if not, then I'll do it on every show.
Oh, thank God.
Which actually might endear you to Drew and Mike since they did do a stint at the Riff.
Well, people might not know if they're just the audio listeners that, oh, wow, God, I know he endorsed the Schnozzcast.
Let's just say he did.
Yeah.
Let's just say he did and we'll move on.
We'll do some promos. We'll just rifle off some promos.
Right. And you can legitimately do it because you can just say you're Arthur Penhauer.
Penhauer.
Yep.
Arthur Penentiller.
I will not say my name.
Bob Kazamakis.
Bob Sacamano.
Right.
Right. Art Vandelay. Endorsed the Schnozzcast.
He was the summer me.
It was the summer of Nick.
He's the summer George.
I prefer to think it was the summer of Nick.
Oh, it's always the summer.
Well, that's
Always.
true. Nick gets his own birthday month, and I just assumed that the summer would be the summer of Nick.
Ah,
With an
it's
early
like
start.
breath of fresh air, Bob.
On March
Did you
10th.
finally say that?
I think we might. Oh,
Oh. So for the listeners, Cory is trying to look up to see whether or not that I can do the old riff, right? The old riff, baby.
Yeah.
unfortunately, we're going to have to do some censoring.
Why?
Oh, he did?
It is trademarked.
What do you mean it's trademarked?
But we gave him credit.
So, but he's not saying it.
He did say it.
He
He said
did.
it for decades.
Yeah.
So
They're just saying it's his trademarked phrases. They're
Right.
not saying it's trademarked.
But okay, so I can't say that's hot on the air.
Oh, there we go. We're getting sued so many times this episode.
No, I actually said though she did trademark this word, and that's it.
So that makes it okay.
But
Yeah, I
no,
don't think so.
no, I
You can't like pedal it off as your own.
exactly. I think that's where it comes in. Nick can't say in that voice, baby, and say that's my trademark phrase because
Right.
clearly it's not.
It's freedom of
Arthur-
speech.
right.
I can say
Arthur
whatever I
Penentell.
want.
So I mean, if that's the case, we're not allowed to say, "Wow, Nick, it's hot in here."
Right. That's
hot in here.
Why? Because
By
Nelly,
the way,
Nelly
it's
said it.
trademarked.
Because Nelly said it. But I didn't say her. I said here. We're totally fine.
Nelly said it first.
That's right, it's on.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I can say whatever I want.
Okay, that's-
I'm gonna side with Nick on this one
Yeah.
because he's giving credit where credit's
right.
due.
No, I
It's
get it.
if we started the Schnozzcast every day with me doing it and not giving any credit to him or anything like that,
Right.
and just passing it off like it's our slogan, then yeah. But I can say anything in any voice that I want.
Yeah, I would assume it's probably trademarked by the Riff
Oh yeah.
more than him. Is
That's a
that
good
ad
question.
Slogan.
Yeah,
The bumper stickers, they still make those bumper stickers.
Yeah. And,
True.
Yeah.
And because if that was the case, then Cory would trademark his voice, and I'd never be able to do it again.
No, but at the same, hang on though. At the same
How dare you
turnaround,
have a deep voice.
Dave and Chuck the Freak were on 89X,
Yeah.
and a lot of the same slogans that they used that they trademarked at 89X they still use at the riff.
It would depend on the contract that they have.
Right.
I
and
would assume that they trademarked it under themselves, knowing that if something did happen down the road, that they could take that phrase with them and it.
Or if they didn't do that, then go ahead.
Right.
No, I was just going to say, Bob and I actually talked about this before, because, Drew and Mike, on their own podcast now, they deep dive and play, episode clippets and snippets and stuff like that from the Drew
Clippets and snippets.
and snippets.
The clippets and the snippets.
Both of them.
It's what did Cory say earlier? He said something just like that. It was like two different things. But anyhow, that's what I was laughing about. But anyhow, so they use it all the time on their show. And like I was talking to Bob, and I said, well, first of all, the Drew and Mike show on 101 doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
So they don't really care too much. They're not going to be playing any advertisements for it or anything like that. So Bob and I were talking about it. I'm like, how can they still use this? So I would assume for a price, they probably purchased the rights to it.
On their way out the door, yeah.
Yep. So
Yeah.
just like Dave and Chuck the Freak, that show's not around anymore. So they probably did the same thing. They're probably like, yeah, I know it's my voice, but you guys had the copyright to it. So yeah, for this amount of money, we want to buy it so we can use all our clips and our phrases and everything.
Yeah, it all depends on how their agents structured the deal. So when Dave and Chuck the Freak came on board 89X, that's where are they at now?
They're on the riff now.
They're on the riff
On the
now.
riff, yeah.
So with that 89X, they may have structured their original contract to say anything that we say is the property of our show, of Dave and Chuck, and the Freak. Sorry.
And the Freak?
I'm
The
sorry.
Freak.
But anything that you want to license from that point and use on your website or print on bumper stickers, T-shirts, things like that, are subject to another contract that you will then purchase the rights for something that we said. Or 89X had a contract saying like you own it unless we want to do the T-shirts, in which case we can. And if you don't want us to do it or move on, then you're going to buy it back from us.
Right, and I think there's something to be said about, if they were continuing it, like switching a character out from James Bond and continuing the series, then they'd have some sort of a vested interest in it. But the fact that the show no longer exists, the company has to look at it like, hey, look, we're never going to make money off of David Chuck the Freak anymore because it's off the air. So
It's not them.
well, whatever.
I'm
Drew
just
and
saying,
Mike,
Drew
whatever.
and Mike is.
Yeah.
They're not.
So yeah, we might as well sell them as
Yeah. It's all fascinating shit. I'm sure there's areas of contract law that specifically apply to
So,
music and movies and TV and radio personalities.
did they trademark the word penis? Because that was like huge for them. For a while, they even had a billboard at one
They
point.
still have billboards.
That's
that's it,
penis
yes.
on it. So is that trademarked?
I would assume so.
Trademark
I don't know
penis.
if trademarking is different than that though.
Well,
I'm just saying this without having any stick time on researching what a trademark is, but I feel like putting on a billboard versus like you can't say that word without giving me credit are two different things.
But it was like, for a while, it was something that was like something that was part of their store. It was their whole show. People would call in, the first word out of their mouth would be, hey, penis.
Oh, people
They
still
still
do.
do.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like, if that's the case, Paris Hilton did the whole "that's hot."
Yeah.
So every time somebody says penis, they can just like, give me some money.
I've often talked to Todd Dillon about trademarking the word "and natural" underneath his name, so that anytime anybody says it, they have to give him credit.
Or how about Chunk?
Ooh, that would be a tough one because, well, I guess you'd really just have to be the first one to do it.
Wasn't
Right. No, that was a fraternity-wide piece of slang. But if he's the first one to go like, "That's my word," I guess he could do it.
he? Right.
And at that point, no one else could use it.
That is true.
Fucking fascinating.
Is it?
No, because we're moving on.
And moving right along.
I did have a Booze News article. Did anyone else happen to bring one?
I did not get a chance to.
Alright, so this is, I was reading the Hustle, which is a conglomeration of news articles pulled from various points on the internet, and one of them that they had recently was all about Mount Everest, and they went kind of into great detail. So a lot of stuff here that I didn't know. So let's jump in and tell me what you think. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Hey, so from the Hustle, it said that the 29,029-foot summit of Mount Everest, you can see the curvature of the Earth. But for the hundreds of climbers who vie to scale it, there's another curve at play, which is supply and demand. And in a relatively short period of time, the world's tallest mountain has been transformed into a jagged, inhospitable beast. From a jagged, inhospitable beast into a valuable commercial asset. For Nepal, where Everest is located, it's now a multi-million-dollar industry, which is also littered with $550 oxygen tanks and thousands of pounds of frozen shit and 200 plus dead bodies, which I thought was pretty goddamn fascinating. I had no idea how many people actually died trying to scale it.
Oh yeah, I think I read the article before. Yeah.
So in the last 20 years, Everest has seen nearly 10 times an increase in the amount of traffic, with more than half of all of their 10,000 summits coming in the last decade. Last year alone, they set a record for 876 people trying to get to the top, which caused a traffic jam that contributed to 11 deaths. So the article kind of goes into some detail about how did it get so crowded, why is it so expensive to climb, and where does the money go, which I thought was the fascinating part.
Sorry, did not know
No,
that was
I
gonna be that
didn't
loud.
know who it was.
I thought it was
pulling the
Nick.
vape, and I'm like, that is a different sound I've ever heard from a
The
vape.
jet just flew by.
Did not realize it's going to break the sound barrier there.
Standing on the top of the mountain.
Right.
All right, so for decades, the governments of Nepal and Tibet, which both share access to Everest, denied access to most people outside the country. And so throughout the 1980s, access was limited to one Everest permit per season, but in the early 90s, everything changed. They realized that there was a business opportunity in leading Western adventure seekers up Everest, and so climbers convinced Nepalese officials to expand foreign access. And by the mid-2000s, dozens of Western guides had set up expedition companies of their own. Soon the traffic boomed from 50 to 60 climbers to 500 plus climbers per year. From 1953 to 99, there were 1,100 and some total summits, but in the 20 years since there have been almost 9,000. And what was once one of the poorest countries in the world, now Nepal earns tens of millions of dollars from Everest. Its tourism industry, largely driven by treks in the Himalayas, account for 10% of its $24 billion GDP. So how much does it cost to climb Everest? Any guesses?
Oh yeah, it's a lot of money.
If you were to climb it yourself,
No.
or with a guide,
Well, you can't climb by yourself. You'd be a fool to do that. So everybody goes through a company of some kind.
I could make it.
That would be the slowest climbing in the history of Mount Everest.
Let's start a fund page.
I remember.
Let's get Cory to the top of Mount Everest.
I remember on
Let's
Friends.
do it.
Alone.
I remember on Friends like a long time ago. They said it was thousands and thousands of dollars. So that was 20 some years ago.
20 some years.
I can imagine that it's even more.
Oh, it's gotta be.
I'm gonna say 15 grand.
Okay. Danielle? you
I
guys?
was only gonna say 5.
Okay.
I'd say upwards of probably 40s.
Okay.
Ooh.
An Everest journey begins with a flight from Kathmandu to the small village of Lukla. Over the course of 6 to 8 weeks, climbers make their way up the mountain via a series of high-altitude camps, and then they wait for a short window of good weather to push for the top. To make the trek, a prospective climber must book a trip with one of the 50-plus companies that offer guided tours up the mountain. The cost of this trip can vary wildly, but it's been quoted that it costs at least as much as a car to do it. So an analysis of the market says that Everest packages run anywhere from $35,000 to $160,000, but the average Western operator charges about 66 grand.
Wow.
That's it?
Didn't you guess 15?
Yeah, that was me doing it on my own.
I see. So
lot of rope.
you're gonna forget. So let's hear about all the things that Cory's going to forgo in his solo trip to the top. This price of average price of 66 grand includes all of the Everest associated fees levied by the Nepalese government, which Cory's gonna have to pay for.
No, I'll get around that.
No, I don't think you will. 11 grand per climber for a permit, 3 grand for a liaison officer who certifies each climb, $2,500 for icefall doctors. These are the Nepalese climbers who secure the route for you, unless you're going to do it on your own. Maybe that Cory's going to forego that.
There's a route already secured somewhere.
He's just gonna
Which I'm
follow.
sure never changes, and it's always open.
It doesn't sound like the icefall doctors are very good with all the people that die up there. So
Well, we're going to get into that as to why they die.
And there's clearly just a path you take.
No, I think there's more than one path.
Right.
And I'm sure.
So I'll take one of those.
The main path is probably Jesus Christ.
Just follow somebody else's track.
There's a $2,500 facilitation fee and a $4,000 garbage deposit. I don't think you're getting out of there because I see you producing a shit ton of garbage.
No. It was
Why
just,
is there? How's there a bunch of frozen shit, but they got charge you for garbage?
oopsie poopsie.
I mean,
Well, I mean,
fucking iron hands. You know, smash the tunnel.
Hulk smash.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like they're not charging it if you got to take a shit on the mountain. I feel like you could probably do that, but if you're throwing like spit cups and old headphones on the mountain, you can't.
Why am I taking headphones
dude,
with me?
it's
while I'm-
$65,000. You're not going to podcast up there. Come on, come on.
Yeah, I think you might do a solo like.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be throwing them away.
Well,
That's-
once it gets that cold, you're not going to work anymore. You're going to throw them out. Your battery's going to go dead.
Yeah,
no, you figure out something.
you figure out
Fucking
something.
figure it out.
Get one of those winter hats with the headphones in them.
Cory's not Canadian.
Not a bad idea. In addition to the $66,000 guide fee, most climbers, not Cory,
6,600, right?
66,000.
I thought the trip-
All together.
Oh, okay.
Most climbers spend another 10 to 15 grand on gear. Full down suit. Listen to these and you can tell me which ones you're not going to have. Full down suit, mountaineering boots, crampons, sleeping bag.
Hey, hang on. Whoa, you're going way too fast. First of all, eliminate what was the second one?
Mountaineering boots.
Yeah, don't need those.
You're just going to wear your
I'll-
slip-on shoes?
I'll wear my Under Armour slides. Yep.
Okay. Crampons.
Crampons, don't even know what they are. Don't need them.
Oh, you need crampons. You definitely need them. They're for climbing.
Danielle beside herself. She's like, why am I with this idiot who thinks he can go to Everest in a pair of slide-ons?
Crampons are for ice climbing.
Cramp.
And I
They're-
hear
they're
there's a
what
lot of
you
ice up there.
Secure
Well,
into
luckily-
the side of the mountain.
Luckily, I'm just going to avoid the ice, so I don't need the crampons.
You gonna bring some salt with you?
Yeah.
Throw it ahead of you so it melts by the time you get up there.
Crampons and tampons.
One little bottle of
Right.
Morton salt.
Morton salt?
Yep.
Not even rock salt.
Not the rock
Right.
salt.
You don't-
More
No, Morton's-
table salt.
You don't need
Table
I-
iodized salt
I
on
might-
Everest.
I might splurge a little and get some sea salt.
I feel like there's not going to be any splurging
Pink
going
on
I
on.
hope
there.
you don't splurge during the show. That's all.
I think the word you're thinking is jizz.
Nope, it was splurge.
Sure. Okay. Sleeping bag? You gonna forgo the sleeping bag?
Yeah, I'll find some sort of foliage and all that on the side of the mountain.
Foliage.
Yes.
Okay.
Everest foliage.
Everest
Right.
foliage.
There's tons of trees up there.
Yeah.
Airfare. How you gonna get there? You gonna walk?
I'll find I'll,
Uber.
I guess we could start with Uber and then
Oh my God.
find some sort of helicopter or
Evacuation
something.
insurance.
What do you need insurance for?
Evacuation insurance.
Yeah, evacuate what?
Underbody
You.
coating. Keys.
How you gonna start it?
Roll.
Keys? Ah, you're charging me for keys? How you gonna start?
Satellite phone service.
And the evacuate my.
There's
I
no
do-
way you're going up without satellite.
I have
My Apple.
I have Verizon.
It's gonna
I
work.
know
for
Verizon.
There's a tower up there somewhere.
Yeah.
Verizon works just about
Yeah.
everywhere. So
Cory looking for service?
not only am I gonna scale Mount Everest, I will be the new
You have 4
spokesperson.
Bars, 4 bars all the way up there.
Oh, dude, Verizon's gonna owe me so much
You know,
money.
there's something behind that. You could go to Verizon right now and say, you know what, I'm your guy. I will go up there by myself with no sleeping bag, and just give me a sponsorship.
Didn't the
You just funded it.
didn't the Hear Me
Yeah.
Now Hear Me Now Sprint guy do that?
Well,
Uh,
he
oh,
went from
somewhere.
Verizon to Sprint.
So didn't he do like on top of Everest? Like, can you hear me now?
I don't know. Was that one of the commercials?
I don't know.
But they didn't film him going all the way up.
Oh no, because he didn't really go. It was
Right.
probably a green screen.
That's
Right.
where, that's where you're going to revolutionize.
Exactly.
cell phone
That's where he
industry.
missed out at.
Cory, I actually did it.
I scaled Everest and phone still works.
Plus-
So we can forego the satellite phone.
Already. And 18 months or so of training required to make the summit bid.
You're climbing. What do you need to be trained for?
Dude,
You just no.
Your hands are trembling just putting up a fucking GoPro. How are you gonna climb Mount Everest with no training?
I was like, you know it's a mountain, right?
Yeah, but the cold calms
Yeah.
him.
The cold calms.
Yeah,
You
he always,
Are you gonna do it in your shorts?
The cold
Yeah.
subsides the shaking.
Shorts and a single Under Armour t-shirt.
Correct.
Okay.
A hat.
All right.
Maybe a sweatshirt
Let's
because I hear it gets cold.
You wouldn't be able to tell that from the way you're dressed.
Danielle!
On my Verizon phone.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna be nowhere near that shit.
Danielle, send an Uber.
How many tins of dip are you gonna have to bring with?
Oh, this is rock hard.
Oh, I guaranteed 75% of his pack is full of chew.
That would be 75%. I'd say that's mostly what I'm taking up with me.
Yeah.
His
Backpack just
his
full of
fingers.
chew.
Chew and beef jerky.
His fingers would be sinuous and bloody from trying to get the frozen chew out of the pack.
His fingers would just be frozen like this.
I
Perfect.
just put the whole chew puck in my mouth. This is better.
It's easier to just peel the plastic around than
Exactly.
pull it out.
Just break it and toss it right in.
All right. So the supported nature of the modern Everest climb, extra oxygen, Sherpas to carry your gear, and top-of-the-line equipment has made the peak more attainable.
Oxygen, breathe through your nose.
You understand that the higher you go, the less.
I was
of
like,
that
do
there
you
is.
understand how mountains work?
Yeah, I get it.
But okay,
People have been doing this
Do
all
you?
wrong.
In Cory's defense, how much he doesn't exert a lot of energy. So how much oxygen do you think Cory really needs?
So,
All of it.
how much practice do you think he's had exerting energy?
Because he has a lot of practice exerting no energy. But
Right. Can we agree that a climb to Everest will require you to exert some energy?
No, I understand that, but you know how people when they slow down their metabolism and mentally they put themselves in that state to where they can stay underwater for like 20 minutes.
Are you comparing Cory to that guy?
I feel like
What it
Cory
really comes
Yes,
down,
yes,
what
he
it
is.
really comes down to
Oh my god.
in his day-to-day life.
is it is a mental game. People
Oh,
are
you're fucked.
So, like,
people are letting all this extra stuff get. Oh, I need this, I need that.
Or they could be looking at decades worth of experienced climbers dying without that stuff.
Why not try it the other way? If the other people are dying, scale it
I'm
back.
gonna say there's probably been at least one idiot like yourself who's tried to do it on their own.
I just I take a couple inches at a time. Everest ain't going anywhere.
literally.
Naps are the key.
I just
Your flag that you put on the top is just to say,
You're gonna
I
need a
got
nap
that.
because I guarantee there's like a meeting beforehand. You're gonna come
Couple-
with a big breakfast.
no, there's no eating.
sausages.
couple,
That's right.
Couple steps. All right, guys.
The Mount Everest roll
Take a
call.
seat for a
I'll,
second.
I'll eat at the bottom of the mountain. Make the trek.
29,000 feet.
Cory,
Yeah.
On one meal.
Cory, flag, just saying.
So,
Meals. Oh, that would be pretty sweet.
Schnozzcast
There's a
logo on the flag.
Schnozzcast flag at the top of Mount Everest.
No, Nick,
You could probably just get a drone to take it up there and just drop it.
you know what he'd be doing 9 minutes into that trip?
Pooping.
Yep.
Oh, these pancakes froze pretty quick.
Today, 29% of all Everest hopefuls successfully summit. 29%. Around 4% die. I have no doubt that you'll be in that 4%, Cory.
4%. That's a awesome number.
For guides, all these extra safety precautions take a toll on the bottom line. This year, one of the companies expects to take 8 climbers up Mount Everest. The trip will require 2 guides at 35 grand apiece, 8 Sherpas at 5 grand apiece, and a camp cook for 6 grand. I can see Cory having a camp cook. In addition to other expenses like permits, oxygen, and equipment, the company estimates that they will only make $7,000 to $14,000 in the $70,000 each climber pays, which is a 10 to 20% margin before their taxes and administrative expenses. So, which brings us to the Sherpas.
I think he would need twice as many Sherpas.
We did
Just in case they have to carry him
I
up.
could see them carrying him all the way up.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Cory's feet will never touch the snow
they-
Everest.
We did
Yeah.
have someone comment on Podbean Live about
Yeah.
what about the Sherpas?
Here we go. All about the Sherpas.
Yeah, but see, a normal man needs 2 Sherpas. I think Cory needs like a half dozen. If they have to take you out, bring you back down.
You just roll down. It's a hill.
It's a mountain.
There's no rocks there. It's not made of rocks covered in snow.
It's all snow.
sure every one of those rocks is very
Soft.
deeply covered by soft, downy
Soft.
snow.
Soft and fluffy snow.
Yeah. Sherpas are the legendary elite mountaineers that are native to the Himalayas. They're hired by Western guides to accompany the expeditions, usually in a 1-to-1 Sherpa to climber ratio.
No.
Nope. Not for
That one ain't doing nothing for Cory, not for Cory.
Their jobs are especially risky as they are tasked with climbing up ahead of the group, installing ladders in place over crevasses, and carting up to 60 pounds of
And
gear
crampons.
up the mountain with little supplemental oxygen. Of the 304 total deaths on Everest, 119 or 39% have been Sherpas, far more than any other nationality. In 2014 alone, 16 Sherpas were killed by an avalanche while fixing ropes in the notorious Khumbu Icefall.
I would steer clear of the Khumbu Icefall.
Yeah, I would think so.
Just go around it.
Yep, that's pretty easy to do. There's enough routes.
Take a note.
Yeah.
Jot it down.
So you're
Oh,
saying those stupid Sherpas died in an icefall, they didn't even die, is what you're saying.
Well, clearly a lot of them are dying, so they don't know what they're doing.
Once you get to this jagged,
They didn't have the flip flops.
once you get to this
Exactly.
jagged, see-through waterfall, that is what is it called?
The Khumbu Icefall.
And you see, and it's like dun dun dun, Khumbu Icefall, and it's the big sign. You're like, nope, not going up there. I'm going this way.
Just don't buy tickets for it.
That's right.
Go right around that ride.
Excuse me, sir. Can I get a refund for my Khumbu Icefall
Well, Cory doesn't.
adventure?
Cory doesn't have crampons, so he's not going up
Right,
the
no.
icefall. That's for sure.
For a season of work, Sherpas are paid around $5,000, considerably more than the $700 per year average salary in Nepal, but far less than Western guides. But in the last 5 years, these younger Sherpas have been tired of playing the middleman, and they launched their own expedition companies and undercut the Western guides. And this kind of leads into why so many people are dying. These companies that the Sherpas run charge around $38,000, which is 40% less than a Western guide, and this lower price point has attracted a whole new market, which is emerging middle-class climbers in China and India. According to some of the Western guides, there's a serious issue with the new crop of Sherpa guides, the Nepali-run companies, because they'll take absolutely anybody up the mountain, including Cory, regardless of experience, like Cory, and cutting corners on safety standards right down Cory's alley.
Exactly. That's why you don't need them.
No, they're saying, we're getting rid of all that stuff, we'll take you up there.
Right.
You still need a Sherpa. Or you're saying...
No.
No Sherpa? Sherpa-less?
There's no reason to.
Sans Sherpa?
Sherpa-less.
Okay. While
You should
other...
just give it so you could say Sherpa. Hey Sherpa, come here. Sherpa, get over here.
Oh, believe me, he'll be muttering the word Sherpa all the way up that fucking mountain. While other companies generally cap their groups at around 20 climbers, some of these Sherpa-run companies are known to take as many as 100 climbers up the mountain, many of whom are unprepared for the altitude and physical exertion. Of the 11 deaths on Everest in 2019, 7 of them were climbers with lower-cost guides. It's been said that the majority of those fatalities were due to avoidable causes like exhaustion and altitude sickness. I can totally see altitude sickness.
That's why you make your ascent,
Yep.
kind of sideways, so you're not going directly up.
So it takes you 10 times longer.
Slow down that.
You're
altitude.
shuffling up the side of a mountain. with
Slow down.
sideways.
No
So
oxygen.
you're gonna go like in
So
a
no
circle?
oxygen.
Yeah,
Around
in
it
short.
slows down the altitude
So
sickness.
just to be clear,
He's
let's
gonna-
recap this. No extra oxygen, no Sherpas, bag full of chew, slip-on shoes, Under Armour shorts, no sleeping bag.
And don't forget the spiral direction.
Yes.
Right.
I might be the most brilliant man to ever summit
Die
Mount
on-
Everest.
On Everest, even these deaths come at a premium. Retrieving a body is an extremely challenging endeavor that requires as many as 10 Sherpas and can cost up to $70,000. Most corpses are left on the mountain. Some, like the fabled Green Boots
Green
corpse,
boots, yeah.
become immortalized as trail markers. I see you being a trail marker.
No, that's why I'm going to see you guys at the bottom.
After they
after
retrieve
you've,
you.
after you've rolled. No,
After
they're
I've
not-
rolled down.
They're not going to retrieve him. I think that's what they're saying. They're going to leave him up there.
No, I think Cory's mom would pay to have him retrieved.
You think so?
Yeah.
Just so she could bitch him out? I told you to take the crampons. All right, so just to close it out, the inherent risk in scaling a 29,000-foot mountain is not detracted from the mountain's allure to idiots like Cory. On the contrary, in the wake of especially disastrous years like 2006 with 11 deaths, or 2012 with 10, the mountain has attracted more climbers. In particular, Everest seems to have found a special place in the hearts of thrill-seeking idiots who say some pay their way up the mountain, then turn their journeys into keynote speeches. Like the head of Walmart, the chairman of the board at Walmart, who summited Mount Everest donning a Walmart flag. From afar, the old school climbers who watched Everest evolve into a chaotic queue line, clogged with bucket listers who have no interest in the romance or history of the mountain. Once among the moths, many of them have moved on to brighter things.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought it was fascinating.
Yeah.
Hopefully somebody out there did too.
If-
Maybe one person.
If you get a chance, look up the bodies of Everest on Google Images. And it shows all these different people that are, frozen, snow over the top of them, and all this expensive gear, and people just walk past them
That's crazy.
constantly. They're trail markers. They actually tell like other guides and Sherpas like, yep. So you're gonna go the first part of your ascent. You're gonna go up however many kilometers, and you're gonna turn left at Green Boots, and that's what they do.
That's crazy. That's a good recommendation with a link too.
Yeah.
Danielle, your thoughts?
Nothing.
Nothing? Do you think that Cory's solo, literally equipmentless trip up, spiraling up Mount Everest is ill-advised, or a good
Oh,
idea?
very much so ill-advised.
So here's what I'm asking. So and we'll have to go around the table, and it has to be different. But Cory can't answer until the end. But what would Cory's flag be? Aside from the Schnozzcast flag, what would Cory's flag have on it?
That he plants on top of Mount Everest
Yeah.
when he gets to the top?
That he takes to Everest. Danielle.
The thin blue line.
That's a
If
good
he's
one.
not bringing the
That's a good one.
Schnozzcast one.
Well, he might bring a couple. That's a great one, actually. I hadn't thought of that. Donnie?
One that says no.
Is there a flag with a grizzly logo on it?
I'm sure there is.
I'm going to say grizzly.
Sure they
Grizzly.
can fashion one for him.
Sorry, did I steal your...
So
That's the way I can think of
So mine originally was going to just say the Finns, but hold on. But I thought about Cory, and I thought that wouldn't be right. So I
it.
could
You didn't
actually
think about you.
I could no.
Just about Cory.
And
no.
how much I don't like that.
Right.
And I'm thinking about Danielle as well. So
Uh-huh.
I've considered with both of your feelings in mind, I would adapt to the Finn blue line.
Well played, sir.
Wow.
That was the most
Wow.
elaborate setup I've ever seen for a single line gag. Right, put it there, buddy. Nice job.
I got a little smile out of Danielle.
No.
Yeah, a little smile. She's gonna throw something.
Very
I
well.
know.
I know.
You mistaken my smile for something nice.
Still a smile.
She's mastered the art of telling you to fuck off without necessarily saying. which
Yeah.
in my home.
Yeah.
That was definitely a walk-off smile.
Oh God.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Nothing.
You sure?
We haven't
Yeah.
heard Cory's answer.
Yeah. What's your answer?
What flag?
Well, it would clearly be a picture of me at the top of Mount
On
Everest.
a flag.
On a flag, exactly. That's what it would be.
But you don't
Just
like
your
photos.
face?
Oh, for that I would do a
Just
photo.
your face, just on a giant flag.
So you're gonna carry
Nope, just-
knitting material up there with you to
Yeah.
knit the flag together?
Instead of a Sherpa, I'm going to bring a photographer with me.
You still gotta make the flag.
Yeah, we'll print it out there somehow.
Some kind of screen printing.
It's okay. He's bringing a screen printer and a
Excuse me.
Yes.
Can you direct me to the Kinko's here at the top of Mount Everest?
I would assume there's a gift shop of some sort up there.
Sure.
There has to be.
Welcoming center.
Yeah.
When you get to top of Mount Everest.
I
you
made
know,
it.
Yeah. It's got to be.
I made it up the
Cups.
top here.
Where are you supposed
all
to-
I got was this lousy coffee mug.
Where are you supposed to get your T-shirt for I summited Mount Everest?
I'm going to say
Alright.
at the bottom.
All right, where are the I made it Everest stickers for my cup?
That's right. Actually, that's a brilliant idea. Opening up a gift shop at the top of Mount Everest.
It's based on the honor system.
Yeah.
Just leave your money in the
Oh,
jar.
You don't have any money, huh? Well, those boots are nice. So yeah,
Will
clearly
it have an AMI jukebox?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
All the amenities that you could have at the bottom of the mountain.
Hey, man. Welcome to Uncle Ray's Everest, man.
Jason, how'd you get up here? Put-
What do you do?
That's
Wow.
Oh, wow. Oh, sorry. Keep going.
yeah. If you just don't unplug it, then they usually work correctly.
Okay, Mom.
It's Donnie smashing his iron fist down on the table. It's knocking it loose. You guys want to do a little pick of the week?
Sure.
Alright. Does everybody have a pick of the week? Donnie, you don't need to worry about that. Unless you got something you want to share.
I do, as a matter of fact.
Alright, let's have you go first then, Cory.
Oh, I'm going first?
Yeah.
All right, I guess I can do that for this one.
I feel pretty honored.
So,
Here we go. We're going somewhere.
Here it is. Here it is, and I'm going to tell you.
Going somewhere.
as I've recommended wallets to you before,
Yes.
I came across another one a couple weeks ago. There's a
Let me guess. Is it like Costanza wallet?
no, it's the furthest thing. It's actually the direct opposite of the Costanza wallet.
Already.
So there's a company called Ridge Wallet
Yep.
that makes premium little minimalist money clips and that holds up to like 15 cards and some cash.
Mm-hmm.
Downside to Ridge Wallet is they're like $170.
Already.
So clearly I'm like, don't know if I want to do that. But I ran into someone the other day that he set his wallet down. I was like, oh, that's a Ridge wallet. He's like, oh, no. He's like, I would never spend that kind of money on a wallet. He's got this on Amazon for $12. Well, I'm like, clearly if you got it on Amazon for $12, there's no way it's built with any sort of quality. So they let me look at it and the elastic and everything on it, the money clip on
I
it.
took the rubber bands off. Peeled away the Scotch tape.
And
so I get a good look at this wallet.
I was quite surprised that it was just basically the exact same thing as the Ridge wallet, except for 90% of the cost.
Cory, this is a scrunchie. You're literally just wrapping your money in a scrunchie. It's a thin blue line scrunchie.
So I decided to order one, give it a shot. And on Amazon, it's the Minimalist Wallet for Men, RFID blocking anti-theft slim aluminum wallet.
Do you have it with you right now?
I do.
Let's see it.
For $12.95.
Which coincidentally is more than what's in your wallet.
That is not the case.
It's tax season. He's good.
What are these Bill Clinton
Those-
$3
those
bills?
those $100 bills? Is that a Kennedy half dollar?
So it's pretty solid.
Oh boy, oh boy.
See if it holds up to the test.
I don't see why it wouldn't.
So you're okay.
Well, there's a little ridge at the bottom you can push the cards up.
There's a ridge at the
Oh,
bottom to
that
push the
works-
cards
that
up.
works
Yeah.
well.
Okay.
It's
Oh.
right there. You see that?
Oh, I see. It comes out this side. Gotcha.
There you
All
go.
right, I'm with you. Okay. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, hey,
no, I was prepared to shit all over this, but I'm actually like, okay, I get it. And it's adjustable, I assume, by these, so it doesn't matter if you have 3 cards or 10 cards.
Yeah. No. When there's actually no cards in there, I mean, it's completely secure and closed.
Tight.
Yeah.
Okay. Not bad, sir. What what was the brand name of it?
There's actually really no.
Bridge. Bridge
Is
wallet.
it a Raj wallet?
is it the card or the wallet?
There's got to be a brand name.
What do you mean the card?
He said bridge. Bridge
Oh,
card.
that's that.
One of those is in there.
No, and actually,
Gotta get the milk and cheese.
if you actually go into Amazon and put in Ridge Wallet, that comes up prior to actual Ridge wallets.
Right, but it's not a Ridge wallet. What kind of a brand? Dude. What is the brand name of it?
Amazon's choice.
Like, you're not telling people to go search for a Ridge wallet to find a non-Ridge wallet, are you?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Well, like I said, or you can put in, or if you put in minimalist wallet for men.
Okay, so is that the brand name, like minimalist?
There's, it's made by Infinite Products.
Okay, there you go.
So yeah, that's the only branding I can find.
Okay, so I had a Hellbent holster wallet that you recommended to me, and then I upgraded to the newer one because I really liked it. It wasn't $12.95, so
No, it was not.
having now seen yours, I'm like, oh, that's a really good. I mean, I like it.
To like give for gifts if you don't want to really spend money on yourself.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good like if you're going to a wedding, you need to
Good
get a wedding
starter
present
wallet.
for them. Yeah,
Quality product.
Something you give your
It's a-
8-year-old if you want,
I could totally see buying my son that as a gift.
but not for yourself. You're a little bit more of a higher end kind of guy.
Yeah.
You would never know it was $12 by holding
No,
it.
that's
feeling
true.
it, though.
No, I'm totally giving you props for it. It looks like
Like-
it's
like I
fairly
said,
well put together.
Had you not told me that it was from Amazon, I would have thought it was a true legit Ridge wallet.
Right.
The screws and bobs are like tungsten, I think, right?
I think they're vibranium actually.
Well, but you did get a pretty
Straight
sweet
from
deal.
Wakanda.
You got a pretty sweet deal on yours, so.
I got a good deal on it, and yeah, I really liked the one I had before. It was just they made some sort of change in how they constructed it, and the newer version held the cards better. They're easier to get out. So, but it's a good pick. I like that.
Thank you.
Yep. Nick, you got one, or you want me to go?
No, go ahead. You
Okay.
Go, yeah.
So I was watching. I was just flipping around, and I happened to catch in the Golf Channel. They had a documentary called Loopers. I don't know if you've seen it. This is on Hulu. I caught it. It was narrated by Bill Murray, and it's an hour-long documentary all about caddies.
I have not seen that.
Yeah, there's really, I don't think I really need to say anything else about it. A caddy documentary about the history of the caddy, narrated by Bill Murray. That should be all you need to know.
That is all I need.
That's all. I think I could probably
pretty
just
good.
stop it right there.
That is.
But I will say that they go over to a lot of the famous courses and a few that I'd never really seen before. Hi, Danielle. Her eyes are a little bit closed.
Nodded out on that one. Caddies.
Let me hear you talk about caddies.
So this was one that I watched on the Golf Channel.
Right. I think that's where I lost her
Yeah.
right there.
She's like, nope.
Oh God.
Bob talking about the Golf Channel? Nope.
They interviewed a bunch of Scottish caddies who were all telling all these off-color jokes and shit. It was a really good documentary, and especially for someone like yourself, Cory, who has caddied in the
This is true.
past. Highly recommend it. So you can find it on Hulu. Loopers.
Didn't you say that we should be doing more things like this?
I did, but I spent a lot of time talking about Mount Everest, and that's another long story. Like, I don't want Daniel to just go like literally fall out of her chair. I feel like that's one I'd probably have to do right in the first half.
And what's it called?
A teaser for the audience?
Yeah.
AMSR.
Yep.
Yeah. We won't go into that.
I was
You would
like,
never
what?
make it through that.
No.
Never make it through that.
Wait a second. Are you telling me right now you've never heard of ASMR?
Yes.
Oh boy. You guys, obviously,
Right.
You know,
I have a whole thing for it. I hadn't. I knew about it, but I didn't know what it was called, and I didn't know any of the backstory behind it.
Donnie, are you aware of what it is?
No.
I could tell you, Donnie, real quick.
I was gonna say, give a quick rundown.
I'll go through the first paragraph of this. So there's an article in Rolling Stone about AMSR. It's a subgenre on YouTube. Look at Danielle. She's like,
No.
Let me toothpick my eyes open as far as I can. It stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response. It's a little understood neurological phenomenon. It refers to a pleasurable tingling sensation throughout the scalp, neck, and spine. And some people experience it quite strongly, and others say they don't experience it at all. But for those who do experience it, the effects appear to be wide-ranging, and some people call it brain tingles. Yeah. What?
No, go ahead.
Why the fuck are you interrupting me? You're like tapping me.
Oh, no, I must have just been.
Okay. You're like,
You tapping his thigh?
He goes, eh. I'm like, he's looking at me like,
Continue.
Some people call it brain tingles, others liken it to having a full-on brain orgasm. We do, however, know that ASMR is triggered by a specific yet wide-ranging set of oral and visual stimuli, such as tapping, scratching, whispering, brushing, lip smacking, or watching someone paint or draw. Yeah, that's all we need to say about it.
So you have AMSR appear in ASMR down here.
Yes, I do. That's a fuck up of mine.
That is what you call a fuck up.
Yeah. I was trying to get ready.
That's
I
where I
did
went
the
wrong.
Mount Everest one, and I did that one. Yeah. So I really didn't know what it was called or what it meant or any history about it. So we definitely don't have to do anything more on it than that, because I can see Danielle try to struggle to keep her eyes open.
Well, the one thing I would like to touch on just real quick on that is that people have made complete YouTube channels and have made a lot of money off of just getting these specialized microphones and literally just making sounds into them.
Yeah.
And that's all they do.
Right.
Yeah.
It's mind blowing that someone can sit there for an hour, and like there was one that I came across.
And that's why I was tapping.
And,
Okay.
but that's basically what it's meant to do is soothe you and put you to sleep. So.
I don't need help.
If you think that the listeners or viewers would find it funny, we can keep talking about this and see how long it would take for her to literally hit her head on the table.
Oh, it's really not going to take them longer.
She's fallen asleep several times since she's been here.
I was good for the first half, and the second half's not
All
going
right,
so
so
good.
we'll pick it up. I'm not, let's put that to side. Maybe next week or at some later point, I'll talk about it. So.
Should we do the rest of the cast in a whisper?
I would love it.
Shh, don't wake Danny out. This is the Schnozzcast. Well, gentlemen, going around the table. Let's say goodbye. Goodbye. It's been fantastic.
I heard that it was lip smacking there, and I thought, God, that would probably drive Keegan insane. Doesn't she hate to hear people chewing?
Yes.
The lip smacking. With
Keegan hates everything. So
fair enough.
Except dogs.
yes,
Dogs are greater than people.
that's the only thing
True.
on our list. Dogs.
Why aren't you asking my questions?
Oh, God, I remember that.
I'm like, Jesus.
I remember that.
I did
I
catch
asked,
that episode.
I asked like 7 of her questions. She's like, why aren't you saying what I'm saying? I'm like,
Yeah, she's in the chat room literally just losing her shit.
oh my God.
Well, and then the episode that
Not like we were talking or anything.
Natalie and her were both watching.
Right.
I could see it in the comments right away. I'm like, I know exactly where this is going.
They're both type A females.
Yeah. And so immediately after we hit our first break, I got a text from Keegan. Hey, who's this Natalie bitch?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's Nick's cousin, and Nick.
I got a text from Natalie. Who the fuck is Keegan?
Right. So for the listeners, Keegan is Cory's sisters.
Natalie's my cousin.
Right. And so this is literally the cage match.
Oh
I
my
was gonna
God.
say you guys should have done a death match.
Dude, I literally just saw the fire starting
And it was
on the
over
screen.
something so stupid.
It was really dumb.
I to be honest with you, I can't even remember what it was.
I think
just
you were
remember.
the only one paying attention to who was commenting in the room,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
The rest of us were actually doing our jobs and talking.
And it's so
and not that
fun.
you weren't doing your job, but you were the only one who was kind of
Saw the comment
devoted to
thread.
right.
And
So I didn't know what was going on.
I don't know much about Keegan, but I know Natalie. Like growing up my whole life, it's always like, oh God, I hope there's not another girl there. It's like, and she's kind of died down in her as she's gotten older, you know. But it was always just such a challenge. It was like, dude,
Keegan's just ramping up.
yeah,
That's
like,
right.
she's like the nicest person in the world, and she's like, who the fuck's that bitch? I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, I have finally met Natalie, and she's remembered now.
Like 5 times.
It was at least 5 or 6 times I met Natalie, and it was already kind of semi into the night, so it was a very hey, how's it going? I'm like, oh, hey Natalie, good to see you again. And then finally one day I was over at Nick's grandma's house for dinner, and she came in. She's like, oh hey Cory. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, we don't have to be introduced today? Because every time before it was, oh, nice to meet you.
Right.
I'm like, this is the 6th time I've seen you,
I
Natalie.
remember it was like after that time too. She's like, I love Cory. Okay, finally you know who he is.
It only took a couple times.
Yeah.
That's all right.
You got to pick the week, sir?
No,
this
I
week?
don't, no.
Okay. Donnie, is there anything you'd like to recommend that you've watched, read, heard, thought it was cool that you'd like to share?
No.
Donnie, how about
I'm always stuck at work, so I don't get much time.
Donnie, how about this?
Mhm.
You want to plug your page?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you got a page plug. Oh shit, thank you for reminding
Wolf
me. of that.
Hunters International. It's a law enforcement page, pro Second Amendment page, pro military page. And when you guys are on, I do watch parties. Also I do have.
Stop shouting.
I do have. I'm a brand rep for Relentless Defender Apparel, so anyone's in law enforcement out there, go to the page and you can get a discount on it.
Awesome.
Cool.
Very cool.
And the website again? Wolf Hunter?
Wolf Hunters International.
So that's a Facebook group, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So go up to the top of your Facebook and type it in, and you have to be accepted to be a part of the group. So hopefully you are.
Donnie, can they request access and mention the Schnozzcast for like a 10% discount?
I'll give them 15.
Oh, hey,
That's
So
awesome.
stepping it up.
Mm.
So Wolf Hunters International,
Mhm.
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
On Facebook.
On Facebook.
Go in, and is there
All one word.
Is there a section where you request to be invited to the group where you can type something in?
They just click follow.
They click follow.
Yeah.
Okay. So once you're accepted, if you want to buy something from Relentless Defender, just type in.
It's actually attached to the bio.
Okay.
Relentless Defender is, so they can just click the link and go there, and it'll explain what the code is. It's right on the page.
But they can reference the Schnozzcast
Of course.
and for some sort of discount?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Reference.
That's
Say
awesome.
the Schnozzcast sent you 50% off. We appreciate that.
Fantastic. You might legitimately be our first advertiser.
Well, all right.
Yeah?
Well, Uncle
Hey,
Ray's
you know-
official.
Yeah.
Okay.
How
hold
well is
on.
that working out for
Yeah,
us?
Uncle Ray's has never said mention the Schnozzcast and get 5% off your tab.
No, but they allowed us to be the only outside company to put a sticker inside their establishment.
And they, Relentless
Hold
Defender
on.
for law enforcement is huge. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
they give back to families and kids with cancer. A lot of the proceeds from their T-shirts and coins go back to families. So
That's
it's
awesome.
huge.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think that our first advertiser right there.
There you go.
Yeah, happy to do it. Proud to do it, actually.
So you're saying that I kind of started that because I reminded him.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
Cory invited me.
I was going to say thank you.
It's my home.
That doesn't make
It's my house leave.
That's Schnozzcast.
I was saying time to pull the plug.
My house leave.
Hey, was Krabby thinking that we were going to call and loop him into the podcast?
Maybe he's still standing by for
Cory,
that.
you kind of dropped the ball on that one with your Everest story.
I did. I got a little too carried away with my own wants and thoughts and climbing Mount Everest.
Hold on. Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, all right.
Well then.
Something going on with the recording.
Everything good?
Everything's good now.
You know what though? The only thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got his number.
I was gonna say I got about
Got about 10 minutes.
yeah, roughly. So we could do a call or we could cut it right here.
I think we should do one more Schnozzcast Schnott.
Okay.
Well, the only thing is we're going to go over the 2-hour mark and then we can't do the thing.
Well, no, how long was it gonna take us to do a shot?
No, the shot, yeah, but not the call, right?
Yeah, no,
I mean, it depends on what we want to talk. Was there something in particular he wanted us to call him about, or
No,
just
I
trying
think
to get him on the line?
I think he just overheard something
Yeah.
about us referring to when him and Nick were here,
Uh-huh.
and he was like, "Oh, I gotta try to call."
Why don't we schedule for next time? Because if we stay under the 2-hour mark, then it's going to be easier to advertise.
If you want to try to give him a call, and if he actually picks up, we could just keep it to 5 minutes, and we'll still be fine.
No, we'll put him on a scheduled call for next
Okay.
time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll do one more shot here, and
I like Krabby,
Good final thoughts.
and I like to hear what he has to say. And
well,
I
let's see.
would like to limit
I was
to
just
him
say
to
I
5 minutes.
would
yeah.
hate to cut and be like, "Oh, sorry, dude, time
Yeah.
to end the call."
Well, that is a great story, Jim.
See ya. Krabby was the gentleman here with Nick last week. He's been on a couple episodes now.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, the poolside episode that we did,
Yeah,
He was our guest on the poolside
Yeah, I think I
episode.
called
James Baptist.
5 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, but he's what's
I don't get up much.
I see that.
Doesn't happen.
You know, when you got 12 kids and any woman you walk by tends to get pregnant.
Herb.
Sorry.
You stay away from Danielle. Sir.
That's
You stay away.
I'll claim it.
that's why that is why Danielle's over here and Donnie's all the way over there. He sneezes, then next thing you know, I have to raise a Gephart child.
You keep your fertility away from me.
Did you say Gephart love child?
He said he was raising one.
Okay.
So,
All right, final shot of the cast.
Yep. And it's a leap year, fellas. And we won't do this again for another 4 years. February 29th.
well, that is quite something. Which
I'm sorry, hold on. Corey's going somewhere.
Yeah.
Hold on.
You're
Which?
gonna get
well,
there.
cheers. Let's
Which?
do the
Come
shot.
on, which?
No, you're gonna get there. Go ahead.
Well, we kind of
Which-
talked about it the other day.
The other
What is
day.
what is
See how he
someone?
looped you in right away? Like, I'm not dying this hill alone. You're coming with me, buddy.
Well, no. What does someone do when their birthday's on the 29th on a leap year?
So,
I don't think it matters until
Hold
you
on.
start getting older and you're like, no, I'm not that old.
What?
do you know
Keep
Aviation
minding
Gin?
you.
Do you know Aviation Gin, the company? Ryan Reynolds bought it, and so
Okay.
now he does all the advertising for it, but he does it in that Ryan Reynolds way. So he just did a thing where
Hang on, let's
for
put a pause on
Jesus
that.
Christ, no,
And-
dude, no, I'm in the middle of a sentence. Now you're gonna fucking wait. Did a video with a woman who was born on a leap day, born on February 29th, and if you only count the day that her actual birthday comes up on,
16.
she's technically 21 years old this
21.
year. So he did a video and got her drunk at the age
For her
of
21st birthday.
74. Yeah, for her 21st birthday.
That's awesome.
Pretty awesome.
Oh, here we go again. Cheers.
Okay.
All right.
Woo! Woo! All right, episode 51.
In the can.
Sorry, 61.
No, say.
Yeah, 50
Ooh,
years.
going way back.
Verbal diarrhea there.
In the can.
Thank you for tuning in.
Donnie, thank you for showing up.
Thank you, Donnie.
Thanks for having me.
Loved having you. You gonna come back?
Definitely.
Um,
I'll have to
gonna
schedule
say.
like a year from now
I was gonna say.
because I'm always at work. So
But if you just told her you were running out to Kroger,
going to get some
Oh,
groceries.
be right back.
right? And they go, "Oh, babe, they were closed." Or you know what? I went through the whole. Just tell her you went through the whole store, filled up your cart, got there, realized you forgot your wallet, had to leave.
There you go. That works.
Can we
Come back. Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
How's it going?
before we all say our goodbyes, and
Yeah.
we're at 54, so we got to do it quick. Can we get some final thoughts from Joe?
Sure.
Well, thank you, Joe.
All right, words to live by, Joe. Danielle,
Joe, you never failed to disappoint.
episode 61.
Your thoughts?
That was more for a goodbye. We're not in. We don't have
I
time
was
for
like,
your
my
thoughts.
thoughts.
You're not gonna get either. I don't
No.
think so. But
Goodbye.
Nah.
Corey.
Good night, everyone. See you on 62.